Amazing.
All right, it's good time to go into our papers. Our portals.
Online story, citynewsroom.com. Ofori-Atta declines meeting with Ghana embassy in the U.S. Now, the story came to light following a press statement released by the Ghana embassy in Washington. And also, still on the Ofori-Atta, right, Manasseh Awuni Azuri, who is an investigative journalist, was with the Fourth Estate, but now, pursuing other interest in the U.S., has said that Ofori-Atta's arrest was targeted. In fact, Manasseh was on a big issue yesterday, and he chronicled the events leading to the arrest of Ofori-Atta. The video is doing quite well on YouTube. Some other stories. In the Ashanti region, your home region, 9 remanded over assault on police officers at Chipiase SHS. Charlie.
What's Chipiase?
Chipiase. Franklin Kujo is in the news, still from big issue yesterday on ChannelOne TV on CTFM. He says economic discipline sets Mohammed's government apart. Haruna Mohammed, Deputy MPP General Secretary, says he will rate NDC government, and guess what? 1 out of 10.
Very, very low.
Oh, God. Professor Sumin, a professor of economics and finance at the University of Ghana Business School, says Mahama had a clear plan to stabilize the economy. APAC meets stakeholders to resolve UG fee hike dispute. Dominic Aina is in the news yesterday on a sister station. He revealed that the U.S. revoked Ken Ofori-Atta's visa. Ghana's economy improving, but risks remain. That's coming in from the COPEC Executive Director, Duncan Amwa. Manasseh made a startling revelation yesterday on the show. According to him, U.S.-based Ghanaians relieved by Ofori-Atta's arrest. And that's coming in from investigative journalist Manasseh. Moving on, Galamsey-related stories. In Birim Central, 2 illegal miners arrested in joint Blue Water Guard police operation. And police arrest 7 notorious highway robbers. And these are the big stories on citynewsroom.com.
Okay, I'm on ChannelOneNewsOnline.com. ChannelOneNewsOnline.com. On our portal, the stories you'll find there: water crisis hits Lashibi Spintex as taps run dry for months. Other stories will ensure Ofori-Atta's rights are respected, as according to the Ghana Embassy. Mahama government has started well, boosted public confidence, Professor Sumin says so. Return to Ghana and face the law, Duncan Amwa tells Ofori-Atta. Other stories you'll find: journalist assault was WAES, I was trying to shorten it, demands names of interdicted GNFS officers. They want to know who was interdicted for that assault on the Class FM journalist.
Moving on to...
Hold on, I'm not done.
I'm sorry.
Calm down.
Calm down.
Calm down. Other stories you'll find on that portal: Blue Water Guards under-equipped in Galamsey fight in the Brim MCE, says so. And Trump seeks $100 billion for Venezuela oil, but Exxon boss says country uninvestable.
Had a story, saw that story on the BBC yesterday. Moving on, Ghana News Agency, they have an interesting piece on 1 year of President Mohammed's reset agenda.
Okay.
Immigration Service arrests foreign nationals for counterfeiting and cyber fraud. Ashanti Regional Minister inspects runway expansion at Prempeh, the first international hospital. Some other stories here: women farmers urge government to boost agricultural productivity through financial support. Some other stories here: SNIT increases monthly pensions by 10%, and Ghana Publishing turns fortunes around after adopting 24-hour economy. That's coming from their managing director. And these are some of the big stories on GhanaNewsAgency.com.
Okay, I'm on graphiconline.com. Graphiconline.com. Some of the stories you'll find on that portal. Obuasi Courts remands 9 for assault on police on duty. People who come off slimming jabs regain weight 4 times faster than dieters. Ken Ofori-Atta's U.S. visa was revoked. He did not overstay, Aina reveals. And Wasi, register Form 2 students at your peril. GES warns school heads. SNIT increases pension by 10%. President Mahama commends police service for peaceful festive season. And health education projects begin in South Tong. 800-bed students hostel project takes off at Adaklu Kojobi. And PAXP Foundation supports Avonyo community. The GMA conducts security audits at Tema, Takrade ports. BOG Gold Board and the acceptable costs of public policy. GTEC's action on academic titles necessary. That's according to Professor Ajimai. And the Vice President urges public to uphold integrity.
Edo, I'll take you to thenewscenter.com. Some stories in education. Petitioner slams KSTU counsel for silence over VC degree probe. Canada sees vast untapped trade potential in Ghana. And they also have the story on 118 former MPP parliamentary candidates who back Baumia. Ashanti Asantehene, also in the news, urged BOB to break high interest cycle. Onto some other news here, 13,000 farmers receive 720,000 in Kokon Kitten. And that's coming from the president, John Dramani Mahama. And there's an international story here. Nigeria and U.S. security cooperation targets terrorist networks.
Okay, so I'm going international, bbc.com. Some of the stories you'll find there. Trump says U.S. needs to own Greenland to prevent Russia and China from taking it. Other stories. Iran leader says protesters are vandals trying to please Trump. Why are there huge protests going on in Iran? There's a video that is explaining that. Swiss search souls and question government after ski resort fire. The explosions keep going. How airstrikes pave the way for U.S. Maduro raid. Musk says X outcry is excuse for censorship. Romance and parenthood feel remote in Ukraine. I haven't had a date since before the war, and those are some of the stories that's happening in Ukraine.
There's a story on the death of Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie's son's death, a 21-month-old son.
Oof, you almost gave me a heart attack, because like, what?
Yeah, the death of, let me say it properly.
Son?
Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie.
No, she just had him.
Yeah, the story on BBC says the family accused the hospital of negligence over son's death. I read an account of her on, on online,
Her path to motherhood.
detailing really, really tragic circumstances. And we wish her well in these really trying times. Wow. So, on the foreign front, a lot is happening.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
A Google employee has been made redundant after reporting sexual harassment.
There are talks around the banning of Grok, right? Grok, Twitter or X's AI.
But that thing doesn't work. Sometimes when you ask it a question, it doesn't mind you.
Grok is
still under
just
training.
about the most, probably after ChatGPT, it's a very popular one because of its very easy use if you are very active on Twitter. You just need to mention it on Twitter and tell it to do anything.
But half of the time it doesn't do it. I've seen people ask Grok, what does this mean? Or Grok,
sure?
And it doesn't work. It doesn't mind them.
You
Unless
need
maybe
to go through the replies.
I need to go through the replies.
It is a very active AI tool.
All right.
Now there are significant concerns around, the ethical and the appropriateness of, the tool in terms of some requests, and prompts being issued. So there are some users who have asked, the AI tool to undress some celebrities exactly, other issues around child pornography and all of that. So there are serious censorship concerns in, I think, Indonesia, where, Grok was said to have shown pornographic materials, and in UK, where other censorship issues relating to, ethical breaches and privacy concerns were raised. So we'll see how that goes. Of course, the owner, Elon Musk, has been quick to describe all of that as an attack on,
on X.
free speech. So we'll see how that goes. But it's a developing story. Clearly, a lot of people are unhappy the way the tool is being used.
There's a story I found very interesting on the BBC that women are deciding to have babies solo.
Yeah, I saw a story where a woman, also in relation to what you just read, said that she has 2 children but doesn't know the dad.
Yeah, doesn't know the father of
that's crazy.
To. Why is it crazy?
How you have 2 children with the same man and don't know who the man is?
Because they're sperm donors.
Yeah, but
they're sperm banks. So, and right now, the way science has developed, you can decide to go and have your own kids without having a father. I mean, here in our system, it'll be looked upon some way, but I'm sure we'll catch up with the rest of the world soon.
Let me keep quiet. Can I read some of the stories?
Yes, definitely go into it.
I want to start off with Ken Ofori-Atta. It's been difficult trying to piece everything together. Right? I don't know what your thoughts are. Maybe I should just read it and share your thoughts on
okay,
Ken Ofori-Atta.
sure.
So the big headline story, so Ofori-Atta declines meeting with Ghana Embassy in the US, right? The Embassy of Ghana in Washington, D.C. has confirmed that the former Finance Minister Kenneth Ofori-Atta is currently in the custody of the United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE. This is according to citynewsroom.com. In a press release signed by Ghana's ambassador to the United States, Victor Emmanuel Smith, and dated Saturday, 10th January 2026, the embassy said it received information about Mr. Ofori-Atta's detention and immediately took steps to verify the circumstances surrounding the matter. Following the confirmation, the embassy formally contacted the relevant detention facility to request access to him in order to offer consular assistance in line with diplomatic and international protocols. However, the embassy disclosed that it was informed by officials at the detention facility that Mr. Ofori-Atta declined to meet consular officers at the time, indicating that he would only engage with them in the presence of his lawyers. And the story goes on and on and on and on. And there's a meanwhile to the story. Investigative journalist Manasseh Azuyu has provided further details on the arrest, describing it as a targeted operation by U.S. authorities. Speaking on the big issue on ChannelOne TV on Saturday, January 10, 2026, Manasseh said sources who witnessed the arrest confirmed that Mr. Ofori-Atta was picked up from the West Lights building, a high-end residential complex located at 1111 24th Street in Northwest Washington, D.C. I don't know what you make of all of this.
It's, ever since revelations about how he left the country came up, I think Martin Pigbu mentioned that the OSP knew that he was leaving and still allowed him to leave.
The OSP himself said that.
Yeah, but I feel like when they contacted him, they mentioned that he was in surgery. When he recovers, apparently he's cooperating, but they want him down here for further questioning, further investigation. I don't really know how that works. I don't know if you can do investigations over the internet as requested by some people. Some people have suggested that they should go that route. And now to this point where he's been, is it arrested or? He's been
charged officially
with
charged.
What?
With corruption and corruption-related activities. I think in the, causing financial loss to the state, there's also instances of theft in relation to the SML deal. There's also misappropriation of public funds. So there are quite some significant charges.
All of this, we don't know his status. Is he healthy? Is he still on drugs? Are there tubes in his hands? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Because what we know is that he was in surgery and he's still recuperating. So what I want to know how he is doing physically.
But has that got anything to do with
why he's refusing to cooperate with the Ghana
authorities?
embassy? Yes. No, apparently he's cooperating with the U.S. authorities, but why is he refusing to cooperate with the Ghana embassy?
Maybe he's doing
That's
that
what
through his lawyers.
I'm thinking. Like, what's happening there?
It's very possible
is that he doesn't trust our embassy enough to want to talk to them, or he thinks that...
you mean the Ghana embassy?
Yes, the Ghana embassy in D.C., not our authorities here in Ghana. Because I think the OSP mentioned that he's been cooperating, but he's not come to Ghana yet. Maybe through this arrest, they'll bring him here. But I want to know why he's not cooperating with the Washington authorities.
You know, he probably sees officials there as an extension of the government, which they are. So, you know, and you get the sense that he's uncomfortable with how certain things have been done, particularly the decision by the OSP to declare him a fugitive, you know, placing him on the Interpol red list. All of that, we've had cause, or his lawyers have had cause to describe as a deliberate attempt at witch hunt, you know. So for me, it's murky. Yeah, right. It doesn't make sense that you would run into immigration issues, as you are being told, and refuse consular services from your home state. It doesn't make for pleasant reading, considering the kind of person we are talking about. He was in charge of our economy for you know, 7 years, you know, if not more. You know, was in cabinet, you know, served in the highest places, and to think that, you know, this is the kind of end, you know, even though he is also maintaining his innocence in a lot of allegations leveled against him.
Some would say if you're innocent,
come prove it.
Come and prove it.
Yeah, fair enough. I've heard people in the NPP say that there's no need for you to, there's no law that suggests that you need to be accountable to the people after serving office. And I slightly sort of disagree with that. It was a Japan Mesa who said that, by the way. You know, the point is that I am of the view that the more Ken Ofori-Atta, you know, stays away from coming down to take on the issues and prove his innocence, the more he creates the impression that there were serious infractions under and serious, you know, irregularities under his tenure as finance minister. And I would have suggested or wished that he really goes through the process, right? And another thing, we expect the investigative bodies and generally our law enforcement to be really fair in all of this. You get a sense that it's a very politically charged kind of issue. Yeah. And with the kind of rhetoric, especially from supporters of the NDC, you know, Mohammed's 1 year, the only issue people are talking about is the lack of action or the seemingly lack of action on oral or from oral. You know, so, you know, you get a sense that they probably want to scapegoat him. That is what Ken Ofori-Atta's supporters and even sometimes his lawyers have heard argue, that government wants to use him as a scapegoat for whatever means. So I think that it's in line if we say that government needs to give us the highest assurances that it will be fair in the process, it will be transparent, and the rule of law will work. And I think that if those assurances are met, I don't see reason why Ken Ofori-Atta should not come down if he's fit and well to, you know, go through the process as, you know, but it doesn't make for pleasant reading at all.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. And I agree with what you said.
I remember going to his office one time.
Oh, you've met him personally?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we were going for an interview for the Point of View show. And I remember the different layers of security we had to go through, you know, even when we got there, you know, like a different whole protocol. I don't want to say some of the things on TV, right? But like, you know, to think that the high you can, it's such a fall, you know, and to think that he could run the risk of being deported under the circumstances, it makes you, you know, it gives you a different understanding of how really fleeting power can be. Yeah. And it's also a reminder to the current office holders that if you don't serve well, you know, or even if you serve, but you know, you will be made to account. And if you are not in a position to account well, you know, it can be something else. So I hope it's just a stark reminder to all of us that power is indeed fleeting and nothing really lasts forever. That is not to say that Ken Ofori-Atta is guilty of everything that he's been accused of.
Okay.
Wow. You know the area where he was arrested? The Westlight.
Yeah, Washington.
Yes.
Apparently Kamala Harris used to live in that same building.
Yeah, Westlight's building. So
Yeah.
apparently it's a very high-end residential. And to think that, you know, anyway, let's move on.
I want to bring us this story on ChannelOneNewsOnline.com. Do you have problems with your water? Hey.
Charlie, if you are watching the show from Boteman, please text into the show. And let me see.
Oh, really that bad?
I want to be sure I'm not alone.
Oh.
To be fair, you know, I hear people in like Tertiary and Spring say they go months without water.
Without water, yeah.
I've not gone a month without water.
Okay.
But like
so it comes intermittently?
Every 3 days. You know.
So that means you just need to fetch water and fill a barrel or whatever.
Yeah.
Or a polytank or whatever.
But the polytank is expensive.
I've never seen water run through my taps.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, fan call?
Yeah, but I use a borehole, so.
You're fine.
Yeah, I'm fine.
So the borehole connects directly to a polytank?
Yes. So you pump it into the polytank when it's full and you turn it off. And then it supplies the house until later.
It's done.
Yeah, until it's done. Then
so when you're done, then you refill the polytank. Hey, isn't it expensive buying water in a polytank?
But it's my own borehole. So it's, I mean.
So you don't even have to pay for water then?
No.
But constructing the borehole is expensive.
It's very expensive. Very, very, very expensive. You have to maintain the water. It's not like, you know.
Do you treat the water?
Yeah, you have to treat it. Especially now that the galamsey, because recently I've seen that it's turning murky. I'm wondering what's happening. Yeah, so it's a whole issue on its own. That's another issue
you know,
on its own.
Charlie, you travel outside, you know, the water coming through the tap, you can literally drink
it.
Oh,
you know? Yeah.
Aside the fact that it's so already chill and cool, you know, it's so, oh God.
Yep.
So I can't even use it to bath.
For residents in Lashibi on the Spintex Road, they say their tap has run dry for months. They can't even recall the last time water flowed through their taps. And so the story reads, for months, taps in parts of Lashibi and Spintex have remained dry, forcing residents into a daily struggle for water and exposing the harsh reality of life without a basic necessity. And that story was aired on CNR last night and this morning at 6 a.m. And the story goes on and on. I want to say what the residents are saying. So residents also accused institutions of neglect, pointing to stolen water meters and weak enforcement within the municipality. Despite the prolonged shortage, many say they continue to receive monthly bills from the Ghana Water Limited, often based on estimates, even when no water has flowed for weeks. How are you sending bills to people who have not seen water flow through their taps?
Makes absolutely no sense.
Like, so you're estimating the water that, like, I don't understand it. Do they come? I don't know if they still go around. Now the meters are automatic. I don't know, because back in the day, they would go around, read the meter, and write something.
I don't even know how it works. But clearly,
write something for you.
Like, why are you asking somebody to pay for a service that has not been rendered?
Why are you billing me?
No sense whatsoever. You know, last time on the point on the breakfast show on radio, Better Than the Team, we were advocating or discussing the need for a centralized system. You know, we should be able to go to an office somewhere in a district or municipal assembly and have everything catered for. So light, water, you know, property rates, like it should, everything.
It would make life simple.
It makes life easier. And what it also does is that it gives the assembly an easy platform to be able to track everything. Yeah. Right? So this house, sometimes you don't even understand. You know, you've not brought water to the house. Water is overflowing, but you've sent a bill. Like, so is it theft? Like, what is it? you get what I'm saying?
I think you also mentioned on that same show that the demarcation is different for every. So if it's Ghana Water, they have their own demarcation.
That's the point.
ECG has their own demarcation.
That's the point. That's the point.
Fire Service, Ghana Health Service, they have their own demarcations.
Here in Accra, if you go to Tema, for example, ECG will probably demarcate Tema as a region. You know, And I've seen that. So, Botema, for example, you look at your bill, your prepaid bill, it says Adenta municipality. Or Nana Chrome, something like that. Then you look at the bill on the water, it categorizes the same place you stay under a different. So I'm like, how can they even work together to know what the challenges are? And for me, it doesn't make any sense. So my point is that it's only a thief who takes, who takes after nothing has been provided for, right? You can't give what you don't have.
Exactly.
So if you are taking when you've not also given anything, it doesn't make sense for me. So Ghana Water Company Limited, I think they should come back again. Stanley Mate. People have said that Galamsey is coming home, is biting.
Yeah, it is. I always say that the EPA boss has said we're going to import water soon.
Thank you.
If we don't take this thing seriously.
People have said that it is the proverbial hen has come home to roost. So, this is the effect of Galamsey that you are seeing. And, so I don't know. I want to hear more from the authorities. Ministry of Works and Housing. Apparently, it's Ministry of Water, Works and Housing. They should come and tell us what is happening because it doesn't make any sense at all. And I hope that the Member of Parliament is able to take this up on the floor.
The water issues is everywhere. I remember last year when I was able to go home, South Centreso, the water will flow today. Then
in Kumasi,
tomorrow,
in the Ashanti region.
Yeah, you see it will stop, and then an hour later it's flowing again. And I'm like, is this how people are living here? My mother says yes. My mother always has, barrels full of water. Because back in the days, there was no problem or no issues with water when it comes to South. And when they are going to turn the taps off, they'll announce it, at least so that you prepare towards that, that thing happening. But now, you'll be there, you go try and use water, it doesn't flow. 2 hours later, it's flowing. So yes, it's a problem everywhere. It's a huge problem everywhere.
In North Kanisha, I don't think there was a challenge with water.
No challenge with water. You always have. Lucky.
Anyway, it's not pleasant, right? And I want to add Adam Mutawakilu. He's the managing director of Ghana Water Company Limited. Nice guy. I remember his days in Parliament. Very loud on energy issues. Competent enough to address this, and I hope he's minded about this. The last time I heard him talk about issues with relation to water, he sort of blamed illegal mining, because apparently the turbidity levels were high and the state of water running through the taps, was nothing to write home about. So I hope he's minded about this, and are actively working to resolve it. Other than that, it's a very bad look on government. That a whole proper residential facility like Springtex, water hasn't been running through your taps for months. Anyway, I don't know if you have anything to add.
No, I'm good.
That's what time will allow us for our news review segment. We started off the show with a gospel ministration by Von Sinu. We brought you some of the big headline stories for our news review segment. We'll take a quick break. When we are back, there's nutrition, there's health. You don't want to miss out on this. Don't go away.